Hi guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me yet again for another one of our uploads. Yes, today we'll be talking about the case that we covered last week. It's a continuation more so really, but I'm going to be telling you about what happened during the bail hearing of Ugogo Maweni, aka, and her real name of course is Mahotso Mufokeng. Leanne Mahotso Mofokeng, but I didn't hear the name Leanne being mentioned in court. A lot of things I didn't hear in her affidavit being mentioned in court, but let's get to them right now. So it was a good day for her yesterday. She was granted 5,000 rands of bail, and this is a classic example of why the justice system will always work out for you in this country if you have money, okay? Money in this justice system is of crucial importance. Okay, with it, you can do what you can. You can get in jail. You can get out. That's what's important here. Money. Okay, for one, to get yourself a good lawyer, and that good lawyer costs money. Okay, and you can always use your assets as well as collateral, and the reason why you're not going to flee the country or run away or not attend your court case. I mean, there was a lot of that in her bail application. You could tell that she has a lot of assets. She has a lot to lose by just running away from the country, which is why it was so easy for the magistrate to just grant her that bail. You know what I'm saying? So she's not allowed to contact the complainant or intimidate witnesses. Those are some of the conditions that she was given by the magistrate. And the magistrate said that there was no evidence that she will endanger the safety of the public or the complainant. The complainant is the person that filed this charge against her 5 years ago. Although she knows the complaint, in the 5 years that the matter has been pending or investigated, the magistrate said that there hasn't been any evidence that the accused or the applicant has endangered the safety of the complainant. So there's no evidence that she will evade her trial after she was contacted by her husband informing her that the police were looking for her, or the police on that Sunday where she was arrested. Apparently she handed herself over to the Mondio police station, so she didn't run away. Okay, that also helped her to be in this moment where she's granted bail. The fact that she didn't run away when she heard that the police were looking for her. Instead, she went to the police station and asked, "I heard you were looking for me." And that's how she got arrested. And there was no indication that she will evade her trial as well. She has resided in Mondio for 27 years, and her address apparently is well known because in conducting her business, she conducted at the very same address the business of traditional chemistry. that business.
Yeah, but you can say
home.
of witching, because that's what you said.
I wanted to say witching.
Yeah, you can say of witching. I mean, didn't she say that?
She said she's a witch.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's
I wanted
everything
to
and
say
anything.
of witching, but yes, that business is conducted in her home premises, and the address that she uses is the very same address, and it's where she resides, and she's been living there for the past 27 years. So there's no evidence that she will intimidate witnesses or conceal or destroy the evidence, according to the magistrate, as in her mind this case was not even being investigated. So she's saying that in Maweni's mind, she did not know that she was being investigated for this specific case of assault that happened.
It's
5
baffling.
years ago.
Why was he not investigated? Why was he thinking he's not investigated?
And why wasn't she investigated?
If she was not. Because one can claim that we were investigating. The states can claim that. The investigator can claim that. So the question remains is, why would in your rightful mind think that when someone has pressed charges against you, you are not being investigated?
I don't know, but yes, it is what it is. 5 years later. And although she did not disclose her previous convictions and provided false information, according to what the magistrate was saying, she was convicted of driving under the influence of alcohol in 2009 and another assault with GBH, grievous bodily harm, in 2017. And in 2018, she was sentenced for 2 counts of fraud and 2 counts of theft from her employer.
Oh.
Now, this one shocked me.
So she was frauding also.
Yes, apparently she had a riff-raff with her former employer. And yes, it ended up in her getting 2 counts of theft and 2 counts of fraud.
Oh.
The magistrate added a further count of providing false information during her bail hearing. This one, it was in reference to her not disclosing that she had been previously convicted. Because remember,
they haven't added it, have they? Because they are saying it should be added by the investigator.
But the magistrate in the judgment, she added it.
Oh, she said
she's adding that extra charge of her providing false information.
Yeah, very the magistrate is supposed to, ne? Because you are lying in that stand.
And she did the lawyer. She changed the lawyer. The previous lawyer that she had, she told that lawyer that she had not been convicted before. And then turns out when the investigator now pulled out the information, they found out, hi girl, you are lying.
That lawyer, the lawyer that she hired, was there for bail. Because he did not care whether, in my opinion, whether that charge was added or not. He never cared. He was like, my lord, that's a solution. You can add
whatever, but just get her out. I'm sure that's all she wants. That's what she paid him for.
And to get the man out. Couldn't wait to go.
But the job was done. He did a stellar job, in my opinion.
No, obvious. It does help this thing of color.
Yes, it was so nice and sweet.
It does help.
Even if it might have costed a lot of money, it was worth it.
It was not even opposing bail anymore.
The state was not opposing bail anymore. That also shocked me. What happened to the state opposing bail? It was just the investigating officer opposing bail, but the state decided, we'll sit this one out. What happened?
We don't know.
Well, her lawyer said that it was due to the fact that she was traumatized, the reason why she didn't disclose her previous convictions, and the court also accepted this explanation from her. So there's also no evidence that she will undermine public peace, according to the magistrate. So, Mr. Anonymous, let's just play the first clip.
I thought I was not included in this show.
Okay.
I submitted my business is dependent on my daily input. I will in all probability have to close down my business down if I am not released on bail. Section 60, subsection 4, paragraph C. Paragraph 34, I respectfully submit there is no chance of any interference of any nature. I'm informed that relevant witness statements have already been obtained. I'm informed that the matter emanates from an alleged incident in 2019. Therefore, the investigation should have been completed a long time ago. 35, I will refrain from interfering with any of the state witnesses. Section 60, subsection 4, paragraph D. I submit that my release on bail will not undermine or jeopardize the objectives of the proper functioning of the justice system. I've not supplied any false information in this matter, and there is no indication in my past conduct to show that I will not comply with any of the bail conditions. Section 60, subsection 4, paragraph E. I submit that there are no exceptional circumstances present to indicate that my release will disturb the public order or undermine public peace or security. Roman law 7, at section 60, paragraph 9, or subsection 9, prejudice, the applicant is likely to suffer if bail is denied. Paragraph 39, conditions prevailing in prison are not conducive for human use. I will be unable to comprehensively consult with my legal representatives and will be prejudiced in the preparation of my defense and my subsequent trial. I submit that I will be severely prejudiced should bail be refused. I respectfully submit that my children are in desperate need of my physical and emotional support. They are traumatized by my incarceration. My incarceration has placed an immense emotional burden on my family. Due to my mother's age, she is unable to care for my children and their respective and specific needs. My health condition is not good, and for the reasons advanced supra. I'm pregnant with twins, unable to function in prison, and do not...
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Why are you laughing?
You see, this thing of being pregnant gets me. Because as I was watching on SABC,
Yes.
people were saying, she's being pregnant. I'm like, what? What are they saying?
She said last year around May that she was pregnant.
So was there any proof that was needed in that court? Did he send any proof?
At a podcast.
Did she send any proof?
Apparently she did a pregnancy test, and yes, she did send a scan. And she did a pregnancy test at Johannesburg Correctional Facility.
Okay, so she's just pregnant for real now. Okay. But it gets me. People will just stretch it and say, this one
because she said it in a podcast sometime last
when
year.
you live your life in social media, you must never forget what you say.
We never know what's real and what's not. Like, the lines are so blurred. We don't know.
not have access to my much needed medical treatment and medication. The prison does not cater for my specific dietary needs referred to supra. My continued incarceration might very well result in a miscarriage and a life-threatening situation for me. The circumstances prevailing in prison are simply not conducive for a pregnant lady like me. My condition renders me a soft target for criminal activities prevailing in prison. Paragraph 42. If I'm not released from custody, I will not be able to generate any income of any nature. My business requires my specific skills and daily input. I will eventually have to close my business down. My husband will be unable to meet our financial obligations, and my family will suffer and will be prejudiced. I respectfully reiterate that I have 4 employees in my employment. The employees and their respective families are dependent on the income they receive from G. Maweni Productions. My employees and their families will suffer undue financial prejudice if the business is unable to generate any form of income. I'm informed that trials, such as mine, might take up to 2 years to conclude.
Now that I'm listening to it, there's something that is worrying me.
What is worrying you?
Did she just say her husband will not be able to meet
Yes.
financial obligation?
Without her, the business will not meet any financial obligations. So just to quickly go over what just happened. So during the court proceedings on Monday, Maweni's new lawyer, advocate Rian Gissing, told Magistrate Roselle Keir that Maweni is ready to proceed with a formal bail application. She changed lawyers. She got herself a new lawyer of no color. From DF Oosthuizen Incorporated, and Maweni was previously represented by Marcia Makuse. So she let her go after the mishap that happened. Maweni not recalling that actually I did have other charges that I was convicted for. So the state prosecutor Sandra Mtambo said that the state is not opposing the bail application. Suffice to say that she has 3 previous convictions. Mtambo said that in 2018, Maweni was found guilty of 2 counts of fraud and 2 counts of theft and was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment. And the sentence was wholly suspended. So it was suspended. She ended up not going to prison. So in 2017, she was found guilty of assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm and was sentenced to 3 months imprisonment, which was suspended for 5 years. And in 2009, Maweni was found guilty of driving under the influence of alcohol, and she was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment. Her sentence was wholly suspended. Gissing said Maweni should be granted bail because she handed herself over to the police. There was no mention of her tertiary qualifications, you guys. I know for us who have been following her, she said she's a doctor and she has a PhD, or not even a PhD. She said she is a qualified clinical psychologist. Yes, that's what she's been going around telling us, and I kept waiting and waiting from that affidavit to hear of the educational history. And there's no PhD in sight. There's no master's in psychology in sight. I did not locate it. She said that she was a clinical psychologist. She's been going on various TV shows saying that that is what she is. And from what I know, you need at least a master's to practice as a clinical psychologist in South Africa. And none of that was mentioned. And Uskoteni, during their beef, there was a time that she mentioned and revealed information that Maweni was not studying in the USA as a clinical psychologist. She was actually an AU pair. Nothing wrong with being an AU pair, but there's definitely something wrong if you're going to go around telling people that you are a clinical psychologist and you haven't studied for it. Yes, they just leave it alone. If you haven't studied for it, don't claim to be something that you're not. So yes, she it was not in sight in her affidavit. Yes. So she mentioned that she had 4 employees in her company, G Maweni Productions. And I also think that it was also smart of her to authorize her traditional medicine business that she got. It was a very smart move because this time around it really worked to her advantage because she registered it herself as an employee of her business, and it made it easier for her, I would say, in my opinion. So she mentioned her job in the media, radio, also social media, with her more than 1 million followers, of course, as well as the women's conferences that she hosts with well-known women as guest speakers in different goodie packs that she hands out to her audience. That was obviously done to prove that she's maybe a good person and likes to give. She's charitable. Let's just say that would it help her case? I don't know, but it definitely did something with this bail application. She also mentioned that she provides food parcels for people around her community in Monjour, and she delivers sanitary towels to schools. She said she also has she gives baby food and diapers at welfare homes. She said that she also does school drives at KZN. She buys school uniforms for school kids who cannot afford them. So she documented her charity work, yes, and also the deadbeat fathers of her 3 children helped her in this case because now she was stating that she's supporting all 3 of her children alone as a single parent, and they are not helping her financially. And she said that her children are totally relying on her. So I guess that also helped, And she also put that in her affidavit that she's the sole provider of her children. Her mother is above the age of 65. Obviously, she's way too old to be taking care of children that young, okay? And I kept asking myself at the time that she was having a beef and responding to Scotty, why is she breathing? Why is she breathing so heavily when she's responding? So now I understand why she was breathing so heavily. She used her current pregnancy with twins, so I believe that she is pregnant. She even submitted a scan because that's what the court wanted. They wanted actual proof. She submitted a scan to show that she was not lying about her pregnancy. And yes, by the shape of the Gucci shirt, yeah, there's something there. Yes, because she was wearing a tight Gucci shirt today for some weird reason. So yes, after her appearance in court at Sun City, she was again tested for her pregnancy. So she said before she went inside the prison, before they admitted her, they made her take a pregnancy test. And she said also that she's pregnant with twins, and further incarceration at Johannesburg prison, also known as Sun City, is not good for her health, and it can lead to a miscarriage, because she also said that in the condition she's in, she can, it can be uncomfortable. Although she did admit that they took her to the section where there were other pregnant women who are incarcerated. So Gesing said that in prison, Maweni doesn't have access also to proper medication and dietary requirements to support and sustain her pregnancy. So Maweni is 38. Is she 38? 38 or 39? I think she's 38. Turning 39 this year. So she is obviously of a certain age, and considering the fact that she's also pregnant, it's considered a high risk pregnancy from what I know. So that also kind of worked to her advantage. She needs medication. She needs a lot of things, even diet. She has to be careful about what she eats. So Maweni, a mother of 3 children, added Gesing would like to retain her passport because due to her profession of being a traditional healer, she's required to travel to countries such as Botswana, Namibia, Mozambique, and Kenya, among others. So that's where she gets her herbs that are not available in South Africa. I'm sure after this she cannot wait to go maybe to Mozambique. I don't know. Angas. So in relation to the 2009 incident, Maweni also plans to enter a not guilty plea on all charges counted against her, and that she's saying that she acted in self-defense, according to Gesing. So she was saying that she's actually the one that was attacked. She's saying that they were a group of those people that were charging towards her, and she picked up a bottle to defend herself. And in picking up a bottle, she happened to cut that other lady or the complainant's lip. But she's also saying that she opened a case against her. She's saying that she opened the case against this complainant. So according to her, it's supposed to be 2 cases, right? And he said also, Gesing, that Maweni lives in Monjour, Johannesburg South, with her mother and 3 minor children, husband and stepdaughter. She plans to move to a new residence in Felon to Randburg, and she said that she bought a house in Randburg and she's moving into that house after the renovations are done. So she's busy working on the renovations, and she also has 2 more properties. Okay, so let's just finish off this clip where Gesing is talking.
Even if I'm eventually acquitted upon the finalization of my trial, the detention will have a devastating and punitive effect on my life. I submit that no likelihood exists that any grounds referred to in section 60, subsection 4, paragraphs A to E of the CPA will incur. I further submit that the interest of justice can be found in my circumstances, the factors referred to supra, cumulatively assessed. I therefore humbly submit that I have indeed deduced evidence that it will be in the interest of justice that I'm released from custody. Request the Honourable Court to fix bail to an amount and with any appropriate conditions that the Court should deem fit. Paragraph 46, I will comply with any bail condition until the conclusion of my trial. Your Worship, it has been duly so signed by the applicant in the proceedings, and the application has been commissioned. If the applicant admits the contents of the statement, I will humbly request Your Worship to accept same into the proceedings as Exhibit A, as it pleases Your Worship.
Okay, that was it. That was a brief little summary of that. I thoroughly enjoyed that bail hearing, guys. I don't know, like these days I'm finding court cases very interesting, especially the ones that have to do with public figures. I'm always interested in how long the arm of the law actually is. And yes, it's a kind of a Animal Farm type of experiment for me. So Mtambo, who is the prosecutor, asked for Maweni's passport to be confiscated, but the magistrate said no evidence was produced that Maweni is a danger to the public and will evade her trial. So Mtambo also said that according to their investigation, or the investigator, he said that he had difficulty contacting the suspect Maweni and the complainant as well. So does the complainant even know that their case is currently in court? I mean, are they on social media? Have they seen what is happening? The investigator, did they also contact the complainant, or the complainant just doesn't want to entertain this case? We don't know. And without the complainant, there's nothing that the state can do much. It might end up getting dropped, but we'll see with how the complainant in this situation responds. So it's gonna be an interesting development in the next couple of weeks. So now in the affidavit that the investigating officer from the Gauteng Cold Case Unit wrote, he said that Maweni has previous convictions for the same offense she's now charged with. She was charged with assault GBH in Kliptown in 2017. She was sentenced to 3 years imprisonment, which ended up in a 5-year suspended sentence. So he opposed bail, and apparently she also paid a fine of 1,500 500 rand, if I'm not mistaken. So he opposed her bail because she committed this crime while she was under a suspended sentence for a similar offense, which is, assault with GBH, grievous bodily harm. So it looks like Maweni uyashayana. Allegedly. You don't want to mess with her. So in the case where court arrived at a different conclusion, either than the one that the investigating officer was saying that they were praying for, or wish that the court should put stringent bail conditions, and also that the accused surrender her travel documents to the state. Literally the investigating officer here, he was painting Maweni as umuntu oshayanayo, like she was being portrayed as a person who's very physical, and the fact that it seems like she also likes physical fights, it seems, allegedly, because even in her fight with Skoteni, I can recall that she was actually threatening to meet her at the streets and to fight. That's what she was summoning. She wanted a fight. She wanted to fight her. In my opinion, as I was observing that beef, there was even a mention of her saying, "Now you're a DJ, you are easy to find. I can track you and stuff." I'm like, ooh, I'm scared. I'm scared. Why does she like to fight? And then the fact that she's pregnant, it's even worse. Like, it's scary even more. I mean, you wanted to fight and you're pregnant, girl. Oh my God. And also what shocked me from her affidavit as the lawyer was reading, I don't know how many of you guys picked that sentence up. He said it very quickly. And it really shocked me when he said that she has antisocial behavior. I don't know if this is laying the foundation as well for this particular case of assault or what. But antisocial behavior is when a person targets a specific individual or group. An example of antisocial behavior may be overt, involving aggressive actions against siblings, peers, parents, teachers, or other adults, such as verbal abuse, bullying, and hitting, or covert, involving aggressive actions against property, such as theft, vandalism, and fire setting. And I'm like, oh my God. Could this be laying a foundation of a defense in this assault case, to say? And has she been medically diagnosed with that, the antisocial behavior? It means ukuthi akathandisisi abantu. That's what it means. It means she's a self-diagnosed bully at this point, unless if she produces the evidence that she's been diagnosed by a psychologist, a clinical psychologist, Mtagama. So that's something we'll probably find out in the case, this assault case, and I really hope that the media is going to cover this one. So the prosecutor Mtambo also shared information that she's well known to the accused, the complainant, and after the incident occurred, there were threats that accused uttered to the complainant. She was reading from the complainant's affidavit. She said that when she went to the clinic after her lip was cut, Maweni followed her to the clinic and insulted her, telling her that she feels nothing and that she has the money to bribe police to drop the case. The state prosecutor asked the court to take consideration of the threats and the complainant endured after this incident occurred. And in the docket, there's no mention of a counter charge, since Maweni said that she's the one who opened a case against the complainant because the complainant had attacked her with a group of people and she used the bottle to defend herself. It's a mess. So if she's going to say that there was a counter charge and the investigating officer is saying that it's not there, I hope it is there for her sake, because already she has been charged for lying about her previous convictions. Let me just say that counter charge, that case number, Maweni better be there. Okay, you don't want to be digging yourself into further holes. So if you did lay a complaint yourself against her, the case number needs to be there, because now the investigating officer and the prosecutor also were saying that it's not there. They are saying it's not there. It's not me. Okay, and they had open cases against each other as well. So according to Maweni, Maweni's lawyer Gesing, regarding the passport, suggested that Maweni informs the investigating officer each time she leaves Gauteng or she leaves the country. So she will provide the investigating officer with a copy of the flight ticket. So during a bail application, you want your lawyer to provide reasons for every obstacle, Mtakabao. You want your lawyer to cover every corner, to cover every, and which is how I felt Mr. Gesing was. And Mr. Anonymous is truthful in saying that, you know what, Mr. Gesing just wanted to be out of there, but most importantly, get his client bail. He was there for that. Because when they were talking about this passport thing, he was like, no, but there's a solution here that can be done. The investigating officer can get a copy of the flight ticket, and can approve before she leaves the province or she leaves the country, and the magistrate said that Maweni was dishonest to the court when she said during her first appearance she does not have previous convictions. The magistrate granted Maweni 5,000 rands bail with strict conditions that she should not have any direct or indirect contact with the complainant. Yes, Maweni, do not go and want to talk to the complainant. Don't do that. The magistrate said you must not do that and must notify the investigating officer whenever she changes her residential address, because she's just informed the court that she might be moving from Mentor to Randbeck, and must provide also her itinerary to the investigating officer when traveling outside of the country. So Kia postponed the matter to February the 11th. She even gave her the time, 8 o'clock, for further investigation and disclosure of the contents of the case docket to Maweni. So yes, guys, and this is some of the clips that I think happened.
Evidence that indicated today that the applicant, if she's released on bail, will endanger the safety of any member of the public or a particular person, specifically the complainant. There's no evidence that the applicant today will endanger the safety of the complainant, although she knows the complainant. In the 5 years that the matter has been pending or being investigated, there's been no evidence that the accused or the applicant has endangered the safety of the complainant. Subsection B, whether there's a likelihood that the applicant, if she was released on bail, will attempt to evade her trial. There was no evidence that she will evade her trial after she was contacted by her husband or by the police. She handed herself over to the Mondia police station. There was no indication that she will evade her trial. She has stayed for a period or resided for a period of 27 years in Mondial, so her address is well known. Subsection C, whether there's a likelihood that the applicant, if she's released on bail, will attempt to influence or intimidate the witnesses. There's no evidence today that she will attempt to influence or intimidate the witnesses or conceal or destroy the evidence, as in her mind that this case was not even being investigated. Subsection D, where there's a likelihood that the applicant, if she is released on bail, will undermine or jeopardize the objectives or the proper functioning of the criminal justice system, including the bail system. This matter was conversed with the counsel of the applicant today with regards to the fact that the applicant today did not disclose in her first appearance her previous convictions. In subsection 8, subsection A, the fact that the accused, knowing it to be false, supplied false information at the time of her arrest.
Let me be the first to say that in these whole years of me following all the scandals and the controversies that Maweni put us through, it's for the very first time that I'm seeing her like this. Her facial expression, shame. She was actually scared. Who wouldn't be? I mean, who wouldn't be? Prison is not a nice place, and that courtroom, when your fate is literally laying in the hands of the magistrate, you want to go home, and they have your fate literally in their hands. It was the first time that I've ever seen her this humble, in my opinion.
Or during the bail proceedings, the applicant did not disclose during her first appearance that she had the following previous convictions in 2009 on the 14th of October. She was convicted of driving under the influence of alcohol, and her sentence was postponed for a period of 2 years. In 2017, on the 29th of September, she was convicted of assault with the intent to do grievous bodily harm and was sentenced to 1,500 rand fine or 3 months imprisonment, which was wholly suspended for a period of 5 years. And in 2018, on the 24th of July, she was sentenced to 2 counts of fraud and 2 counts of theft from her employer, and she was sentenced to, in terms of section 2761H of the Criminal Procedure Act, and this was also not declared by the applicant. The state has decided to remedy this is to charge the applicant with a further count instead of just the count of assault with intent to of grievous bodily harm, to also charge the applicant with providing false information during her bail hearing. The council has also stated to the court that this was done during her bail hearing due to the fact that she was traumatized, and she then did not disclose this information to her legal representative. The court has accepted this explanation from the council and from the applicant, and subsection E, where in exceptional circumstances there is the likelihood that the release of the accused or the applicant will disturb the public order or undermine the public peace or security. There's also no evidence of such. Therefore, the court will grant the applicant today bail in the amount of 5,000 rand.
Would you look at that sigh of relief? She's like,
The court will make strict bail conditions for the applicant.
that was it. That was a sigh of relief to be like, so on other news pertaining to what was happening in court as that judgment was being read, people were excited to see her outside court, almost bursting out in celebration when the magistrate was granting her that bail. And it's not everybody, but it's a particular group of people that had chosen a stance, and they were saying that they were going to come to court and stand outside. Some of them were inside the court and they wanted to support her, following her appearance. Dozens of supporters in Maweni's family observed jubilantly cheering outside the courtroom as Maweni was released on bail. It was a whole homecoming celebration, It was a lot. So I think I compiled like the clips of it, and I want you guys to see.
The court will grant the applicant today bail in the amount of 5,000 rand. The court will make strict bail conditions for the applicant.
traditional healers who were in the courtroom in support of Gogo Maweni. I am joined now, of course, by traditional healer Michael Dlamini. Thank you so much for your time. Just talk to me about why it was important to you to come and support Gogo Maweni.
Ngiyanibingelela uDokotela uDlamini oyi-traditional healer owaziwa ngomzimba okhalimali dabuka endaweni yakwaNongoma, but I'm based in Durban. We came from Durban ukuthi size la ecourt sizosupporta uGogo Maweni. Okubuhlungu nokusiphatha kabi nobekusiphethe kabi okokuthi kwi-social media betrenda ukuthi kunamanye ama-cases emeda khona, kunabantu abashoyo ukuthi vele ngeke aphume ngebheli, kangangokuba abanye babelaphi siphethe sehlukana phakathi okufanele ngabe thina siyi-unit sahlukana phakathi. Hlukaniswa yini indaba ukuthi abanye babo bathi fanele uGogo Maweni angaphumi, uyenzile lento and ama-murder case akhona baze bakholwa yilokho. So 1 2 into edala ukuthi ngibela uGogo Maweni ngimazi efike eThekwini, ngimazi sihlangane eNyukhasela siyabelaphi, kubelaphi sihlangene and njengoba sihlangene singabelaphi siyabambisana ey'ntweni ey'ningi. So namhlanje silapha uGogo Maweni side lakhe elihle engilaziyo mina elokuthi uyaphila nabantu. 2 kunalento ye-charity ayenzayo yokuthi ehambe ezikoleni unikela ngecathulo, ahambise futhi impahla emndeni exakekile. Ngike ngahamba-ke naye mina saya endaweni yasempangeni safe sahambisa iy'cathulo ey'ningi kuyi-crash ofuthi-ke njengoba ekadela fanele simsupport, kukuhle kukubi kufanele simsupport, njengoba nanoma ubani uma ngabe omunye oyihlobo sakhe or umngane wakhe noma ephila naye esesimene esifana nalesi uzumsupport. So ke la ngize lapha on behalf of abelaphi bendabuko sizosho ukuthi cha uyitholile ibhayili kuyasijabulisa lokho, kodwa futhi asisho ukuthi asizwelani nomndeni okuyiwona ama-complainant noma abantu abacomplainile, siyazwelana nawo umndeni. Ilokho esifuna ukusho ukuthi siyajabula ukuthi uphumile futhi siyabonga.
Okay, I'm also joined by traditional healer Samuel Svia. Perhaps why was it important for you to be at court today as well?
Okay, ngiyabonga kakhulu Dr. Spear lo. Into esizele la while sizosupporta i-colleague yethu. Nanombani nje oyinyanga aqale ngaye ukusupporta, so siyasupportana. Nanokuthi ke siyacela abantu bangakhulumi into abangayazi. Njengoba sebempende ngokuthi uyabulala, ijaji lapha lifica ukuthi washaya umuntu akabulalanga. So now sizokhuza nje lokho ku social media ukuthi bafowethu yekani lezo zinto, into edala ukuthi sizosupporta la uthando nokuhle esikubonile ekwenzela umphakathi wakithi South Africa. Siyabonga kakhulu.
Okay, it's not the social media that said that. Maybe it started in social media, but when the police also released their statement, they included those current cases she's been investigated for. So it's not being made up per se. But quickly, let me just summarize what both of them were saying. The first one was Umzimba Kalimali. He's also a colleague of Maweni in that world of their careers. They call themselves healers. So let's just call them. Well, what does not sit well with them was that on social media there were other cases of murder that were trending. There were people who were saying that she should not be released on bail because other healers were divided. They were divided because some of them were saying that Gogo Maweni should not be released because she did it. They even believed it. He says that he knows Gogo Maweni from the time that she arrived in eThekwini and also knows her from Newcastle. And as they are united in their traditional healing / sometimes witchcraft, because that's how she's known. I'm not speaking for you, but I'm speaking for Maweni. Sometimes she reveals the witchcraft and they help each other in a lot of things. So today, they are here, the good side that he knows of Maweni, that she is a people's person and she has charity that she does, and she's giving to school children school shoes and to poor families. And he says that he once went with her to Mpangeni and they gave a lot of shoes at a crash. He says that they have to support her whether it's nice or bad, whether it's good, whether it's bad, they must support her. Because even if a person that she's related to who would find themselves in a similar position as she found herself, then she would be supportive to that person, according to him. And he said that he is here on behalf of traditional healers. I don't know which ones, because the other ones that I've been seeing on TikTok, they don't like Maweni much. Okay, they don't like her. Some do, like the ones that showed up at that court are the ones that support her. And then there's the other group that are like, she must face the consequences of her actions. Most of them who are upset with her because she did the most. She did the most. She did a lot on social media, which upset them. And I'm also wondering, these ones that are now supporting her, did they ever tell her that she's wrong for what she was doing all these years? Oh my God. At any point in time, did they say, Maweni, no, you don't have to do this. Maweni, speak to a sister in the same profession, that there are some things that they don't have to do. I don't know. I'm just wondering. It's nice to support a person if you've always been transparent and honest with them and telling them the truth, even when they wouldn't like to hear it. Even if they are a bully, but standing your ground and letting them know that there's a difference between right and wrong. And I wonder if they do hold her accountable. That's just me. So he now went and contradicted himself and said that he does not mean that they don't feel for the families of the victims or the complainants. They feel for the family, but they are happy that their colleague is out. So that also was very, very concerning and very disturbing. And on the final note, she did post on Instagram, and this is the post that she made. There's a bunch of pictures that she said, but I would like you to note that message down there where she says, "Dear ancestors and God, for this lesson I will forever be grateful." She's considering this thing that she just went through as a lesson. Let it be a lesson. Mahotso, you don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to be combative. You don't have to enter every beef. And you don't have to hate people. Keep your peace. The next time you feel like putting your hands on somebody, think about your kids. That's all. Just tone it down a bit. Tone it down. Well, guys, let me know what you thought of this coverage and everything. It's a bit of a summary of what happened with Maweni's bail application, and we will see you on the next one. Let me know your thoughts. What you thought. What did I miss? There was so much. Let me know in the comment section, and please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next one, guys, thank you so much, and bye.